Hello, what's up people? Today I'm going to show you how to create a chatbot using the Rasa framework. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to take you a walkthrough presentation about what Rasa is, and then after that we're going to make this work. Okay, we're going to make this thing developed from scratch. All right, so without further ado, let us get started with this presentation, and we're going to talk about what is Rasa. Rasa is an open source machine learning framework for building AI assistants and chatbots. Rasa, they have an official website. Let me just take you through the official website. This is how the website looks like. So they have different features. You can use Rasa Pro, Rasa X Enterprise. Rasa Pro is state-of-art conversational AI framework built with Rasa open source. Combine Rasa Pro to enable blah blah blah. Then there's Rasa as a service. If you have time, guys, just come and check it out. But I'm just going to introduce you what Rasa is, and then we're going to dive deeper in creating our own Rasa project using the open source version. Now, when you're using Rasa, you can actually connect it. You can actually connect it to different platforms like or channels like WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, Facebook. You can even integrate it into your website, and Rasa has all these. You can just have it a multi-channel. You can have your bot a multi-channel bot, which can be used on different platforms. Now let us talk about the elements that are in the Rasa core. Okay, so we have three elements that are usually built on top of Rasa core, and one of them is natural language understanding. The other one is natural language generation, and then the other one is dialogue management. So let us go to the first one, the NLU, natural language understanding. So what this means is basically you text about something like, let's say, what's the weather like tomorrow. Then the bot has a built-in natural language understanding module that will actually understand what you are telling it, and then it will actually respond back with a constructive message. Then the other element is the natural language generation, which is NLG. NLG is a subdivision of artificial intelligence that aims to reduce communicative gaps between machines and humans. The technology typically accepts input in non-linguistic format and turns it into human understandable formats like reports or documents. The last element, which is the third one, is dialogue management. Why should we use dialogue handling in the Rasa core? So we use it because there's no more state machines. What we mean by state machines is you have to create your own state machine to handle logic. For instance, if you're asking the bot what's the weather like, you must have like some sort of logic you would have written to have like if statements, like if the weather is this time, or if somebody asks what's the weather like today, you return a response based on some logic you wrote behind. So when you're using Rasa, you will not think about creating a state machine from scratch. Then the other thing is reinforcement learning, which is we use Rasa because you will always be training your bot to learn new things. So too much data will continue to grow and your bot will continue to learn. Then the other thing is this is a simple solution for everybody. Anybody can get started with creating a bot using Rasa. So it is not limited to anybody. Anybody can get started even if you have less coding skills. Then let us create the bot. I'm going to show you a walkthrough. This is just a presentation I'm going to show you, and then we are going to, in the next video, I'm going to show you how we are going to do this in depth, okay? And hands-on. So what we do first is you need to have Python installed in your machine, and also we will install the Rasa library, which is a Python library. Then if you want to install Python, just go to the official site, which is python.org. Then for the library, just go to pypy.org, then project/Rasa. You'll just find it there. Then, as usual, if you want to, in your workspace, create a virtual environment, this is a command that you will use to create a virtual environment. The environment folder, make sure that you install Rasa or Rasa by just doing pip install Rasa. Then we already have Rasa installed. It will take some time though because it's really big and it will install a lot of packages there. So you just have to wait. Then after that, we will generate a Rasa project. So the Rasa project, if you want to generate it, make sure the environment is activated. Just run Rasa init, and the following files will be created. The init.py file, this is an empty Python file that helps to find your actions. So init file actually enables your folder to be identified by Python because as a module. Then we have the actions.py, and this is where you customize the action code in this in the Python file. Then the config.yml file, this file is used to have the configurations for your NLU and core models. Then the credentials.yml file, this contains details connecting to other services. This will involve credential details like Facebook, Telegram, WhatsApp. So this is where you put, like, if you want to connect your bot to different channels, that's where you're going to put your credentials. Then we have the NLU file, which is under data folder. This file contains the intent name and intent for the NLU. You'll start writing the intent from here. We're going to discuss about this later on. Then we have the stories.md file. In our case, this will have changed. This will be, instead of using the MD files, we're going to use the YML files. So this file contains the story of your bot. This is like, a story is like how will your bot be responding in a conversation, right? Then we have the bot, we have the domain.yml. This contains the intent lists, response, action slots, and the form list. This is the domain of your bot. This is what the bot understands. This is, you put all the things that the bot will understand, like the intents, responses, action slots, and form lists. So the domain is actually one place. It's like a file that helps the bot to know if a certain intent is there, or a response is there, or an action. So that's why you declare everything. Then we have the endpoints.yml file. This file has details connecting to the channels like FB Messenger or other channels like Twilio, etc. So this is where you're going to put your webhook like information, like maybe the URL, webhook URL, etc. Then we have the models, then the .char.gz file, which this is the model trained by Rasa. So the last one is the data responses.md file. You can create a response file separately in the data folder, but in our case we are not going to do that. We're just going along with the already generated files that we have. Then after you have the files initialized, all these files, when these files are created, generic bot is already been created at that point. So you can actually test the bot that bot from these files that have been created. So initially, what the Rasa team did was they made sure that when you generate the files, they have a skeleton bot that you can start off with. I hope you understand by that. Then if you want to, the first thing that you would want to do is just run Rasa train. You train the bot first, and then go to the shell, run Rasa shell, so you can actually interact with the bot. I'll show you how this is being done. You can actually test your bot using Postman, but I don't think I'm going to show you this at the moment. I'm going to show you the easier way using the Rasa shell. You just interact with the bot in the terminal. Then when you want to run the bot, you just do Rasa run, and if you want to test it on an external channel, then you run Rasa actions. Okay, by doing Rasa run actions. I'll show you everything, how to handle these commands and how to use them and when to use them. Then the last thing you will do is just try to interact with the bot locally using the Python shell, as I told you before. And after testing your bot, you can integrate it with Twilio, Facebook, Rocket Chat, and etc.